Okay, this is Lisa Walls, and I'm here. We're going to review Module 4 assignment, which is on correlation. We're going to be looking at the statewide school district data. We're going to be looking and using SPSS to determine is there a significant relationship or correlation between the free reduced lunch percentage and the percentage of students scoring at the exceeding level in math for the districts in the state. So we're going to find our file, which is the statewide school district data.sav. So we're going to pull that up. And remember, we have two views. Here we have our data view, which you can see all the data, or you can look at the variable view, which then just shows you all the variables that we have. So we're using the correlation and regression test. This determines the relationship between two continuous variables. And our variables that we're looking at today are the percentage of free reduced students and the percentage of students scoring exceeds in math in districts across the state. So something we do before is we're going to be looking at the pre-test checklist to determine is the Pearson R the correct correlation test to use. So for today, we're going to assume that this has all been met, but we're going to review the three things that we would need to test. So the first thing we would need to test is we would test for normality, and we would use the histogram to check. And so we would be looking for a normal histogram. We'd be looking at linearity. So we would look to see our most dots going upward at an angle in a linear pattern. And they're close together to form a linear pattern. So that's one of the things we would be looking for. The third test we would be looking for is the homoscedasticity. And that's if we draw a line or a circle, actually, if we draw a circle on our ellipse around the data would be thicker around the middle than it is on the ends. And so for this test, we're going to assume that all of those have been met. So we're going to go to Analyze, Correlate, and click Bivariate. So we're going to go to our data. We're going to go to Analyze, Correlate, Bivariate. All right, so here we are. And then we're going to click over Free Reduced Lunch and Math Exceeds because those are our two variables. So we would click those over. We're going to make sure that Pearson is checked, that two-tailed test of significance is checked, and flag significant correlations. So making sure that those variables are over there and making sure that these three boxes are checked. Now we're going to click OK. We're going to run our data, which will come up here, right here. This is the data that we're going to look at. So when I pull this data, we're looking at the negative 0.696, which is the Pearson correlation. And we're looking at the significance, the less than 0.001. So now we're going to analyze the data and tell us what it means. So since this is 0.001 is less than 0.05, so we reject the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference between the percentage of free reduced lunch students and the percentage of exceeds math students. The other piece of data we're looking at is the Pearson correlation, which is a negative 0.696, which would fall here in a moderate negative correlation. So what this means is that the higher the free reduce lunch percentage goes up, the lower the percentage of exceeds math. Or you could say it, the higher the percentage of exceeds math goes up, the lower the percentage of free reduced lunch. So, as a summary, there is a negative statistically significant moderate correlation between the percentage of free reduced lunch students and the percentage of exceeds math students. So, our correlation is equal to negative 696. P is equal to 0.001, and alpha is equal to 0.05. In other words, the higher the percentage of free reduced lunch students, the lower the percentage of exceeds math students, or vice versa. The higher the percentage of exceeds math students, the lower the percentage of free reduced students.